you obviously see this wonderful Pakistani American right here to my right, Tony Khan, standing with Tony Schiavone, and you see him for a reason, and that is because Tony Khan and AEW swept the best major awards this year. Promoter of the year went to Tony Khan. Worst major promotion or best major promotion of the year went to AEW, and best major show went to Revolution. And I think that's pretty on point. AEW consistently had the best show, and even through the pandemic, and a lot of this credit, almost nearly all of the credit for this goes to Tony Khan. Tony Khan has proven one thing, and that is you can be a fan, you could be a mark. A lot of people call him the money mark. You could be a fan, but still know how to tell logical wrestling storylines. And that's what he's proven. And that's the reason AEW went from, being like, a top tier, Wednesday night show to being like one of the top 3 shows consistently every single week on Wednesday nights. And it's credit to him. He's got a long-term vision for his feuds. He knows how to put together shows. He's one of the best produced shows. And one thing that I think helped him, and one thing that helped AEW was early on, when they went to and did the COVID shows, those early COVID shows, they didn't have fans. Instead of doing it in an empty arena or an empty daily place, instead they had wrestlers who were already there, who were going to be there anyway, on the sidelines, like around the ring, making some sort of ambiance. And that is something that made them stand out, especially at the time, as a wrestling company, because TNA wasn't doing that. Sorry, Impact wasn't doing that. It'll always be TNA to me. WWE wasn't doing that, obviously. Even New Japan early on, like, they weren't even doing shows. Ring of Honor, like, no one else was doing shows. And they were the first ones to do that. They did that right out of the gate. And it worked. Because it felt obviously different, but it felt better than what everyone else was doing. So you were like gravitating towards this, and you were able to kind of immerse yourself a little more because you had people cheering, you had people around the ring. And, Tony Khan thought of that. Tony Khan put together these feuds that captivated people. Like the major feuds that AEW has put forward, whether it was Orange Cassidy and Jericho, whether it was Moxley versus anyone on the roster, whether it was
pretty much,
the Young Bucks versus Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, the Dark Order, which obviously before Brody Lee passed away, one of the great storylines, Brody Lee and Cody Rhodes, an amazing storyline that started out, and the Nyla Rose got a little bit better this year. Obviously, Britt Baker we already talked about. So they've made so much progress. And that's the thing. That's the difference between WWE and AEW. AEW seems to be always consistently making progress, whether it be storylines, their wrestlers, and, their ratings, obviously. In WWE, it's backwards. They're actually regressing. A lot of their best players, like Seth Rollins, regressed this past year. You can argue, people who held the title in 2019, Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan, all of them regressed. And that's what happens when you're in WWE, I think. And it just goes to show you how different things are in AEW.
I mean, a lot of people will also argue that it didn't help or hurt him, the fact that he also had Cody Rhodes in his corner helping him out. You have the Omega, you have the Young Bucks, who actually also have a little stake in the company. He's new to it. He's a wrestling fan. He knows what he likes to see. He doesn't totally know how to run it. But you had your hiccups.
Tony writes the shows. That's what people like consistently. You listen, like Tony writes the shows. The other people do have input, and they especially have input on their storylines and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of the groundwork is already laid by Tony Khan. And that's why I kind of think he gets a lot of flack already from people in the wrestling community, especially one James E. Cornette.
Well, first off, everybody gets flack from James E. Cornette. Let's just be real. James E. Cornette in his older age doesn't like anybody.
What do you mean James Cornette in his younger age didn't like anybody? You seen that Wendy's video? You're like, I want a double cheeseburger.
True.
I've never seen someone attack a Wendy. He didn't attack the employees. He was attacking the building. This was
Oh my god,
unprecedented.
That was so funny. Oh
unprecedented. Yeah.
But no, Tony Khan is doing an amazing job.
Yeah, and look, like if we want, and you know, I know it's like splitting hairs and everything, but I don't know what. Obviously, by best major show, I'm assuming they mean like, you know, a pay-per-view. But if we're talking about like, you know, AEW has run a few like shows that haven't been pay-per-views, but special editions of Dynamite that you could also put up there. Winter is Coming. Right. Bash at the Beach was great. Beach Week was amazing. The Fyter Fest this year was great. Like they've had consistently great, like, you know, special shows, but I think they didn't even, like, Revolution wasn't even the best AEW show. I think, you know, for whatever it was, right? For the reasons, whatever the reasons were, and obviously Brody Lee played a part in that. The Brody Lee Memorial Show was, for me, the best show from beginning to end. And you know, obviously it was because of Brody Lee's passing, but I also give credit to Tony Khan for being able to put together that show as quickly as he did, and for it being executed by the people in the Dark Order, especially, as perfectly as it was, including -1, like Brody Lee's son, who got in on the action, which was great to see. But like it was just a great show, and like that's kind of when like the thing flipped for me for Tony Khan, when I was like, oh wow, he gets it. Like he 100% gets like what actual fans and what the wrestling community wants to see. Because they could have easily have just gone out there and done, like, you know, tribute matches with like the best stars in AEW. But no. Instead, they put everyone in the Dark Order over, and they got his group over. They got his son over. They got him over. And like that's something that like people appreciate. And I think Tony Khan's won a lot of people's hearts in the wrestling community, rightfully so. I think that, like, if there was any test for like is he like, you know, a top level promoter, I think that was the test, and he passed it with flying colors.
He put in a lot of hard work this year. You can definitely see it. It shows in the product. He did put in a lot of hard work. And again, I didn't know he was the writer. I knew he was partial writer. I didn't know he was one of the sole writers. But he's done a lot, and you got to give him all the credit in the world. Like, he's done a great job so far.
Big facts. He's also one of the best things about Impact Wrestling these days. Him and Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
There's not much to be excited about in Impact. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.